This is the web design preview on Learn 43, and in this video I'm going to do a quick demo of all three languages on the web: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And hopefully in this video you'll see how all three languages work together. I'm also going to be using jQuery in this demo, and jQuery is not actually a fourth language, but it's a JavaScript framework. So jQuery is a part of JavaScript. The site I'm going to be using is CodePen. This is where I'm going to be entering all my source code. You're going to see the code being entered on the left side of the screen, and it's going to be rendered over here on the right side, just like it would be in a browser. So I'm going to start in this first pane, HTML. HTML is how we add elements to the page. So you can add elements like an image or a link or a heading. And to add an element, we have to use a tag. So tags are in orange, and they start with these angle brackets. This is an H1 tag, and you use it to create headings. You can see my heading renders over here on the right side. It's big and bold, lets me know that this is a heading, this is really important on the page. And every tag you have to close, so you use the same angle bracket, the same tag, only you add a /. And so now when the computer reads this code, it says, okay, this is a heading, this is the beginning, and this is the end of the heading. If I add more text down here, you'll notice that it is not a heading. It's rendered just like plain text. So this tells the computer that only this text is a heading. And that is our first tag. Now there are tags for all kinds of things. We can add a button. We can say clear all. And we can add another button that says save changes, for example. There we go. Go ahead and delete more text. So HTML, you can add elements to the page. You can add links, you can add buttons, you can add headings, and you use different tags to do all those different things. Now we're going to come down to CSS. CSS lets us change the appearance of those elements. So in CSS, I can use a selector. I can select all the H1 elements. I'm going to open that with a curly brace. Inside these curly braces, I can add rules. So let's say I want to make all my headings dark blue. I can say color, that's the name of the rule, and I say colon, and then I give the rule name a value, like dark blue. And then you end it with semicolon. And you can see it's changed to dark blue. Maybe blue is more visible. Yeah. So this is a rule that says all the H1s should have the color blue. If I come down here and I make a new H1, it's still going to be blue. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my buttons that I've added. Right now they're kind of small, so I'll say button, open this, and I'm going to change the font size to, let's say, 1.5 ems, much bigger. And I can change the background color. Let's go with blue, maybe light blue. Yeah, that's really ugly. Light blue, much better. CSS lets us take those elements that we added to our page and give them style, change their color, size, position. So what would happen if I wanted to style only one of these buttons and not both? Right now this selector says button, so it selects both buttons. But clear all is sort of like a delete button. I want to let the user know that this is a dangerous button and you don't want to click this by accident. So what I can do is I can add an attribute called class. All attributes have a name, the equal sign, and the double quotes, 2 double quotes. Inside this class I'm going to use delete. You can use whatever you want inside those double quotes. I'm going to call this delete, and so now my selector changes a little bit. I get to say button. I use the dot to signify a class, and then I just say whatever I typed in my class attribute, delete. And so now I can apply a rule just to the button with the class of delete. So I'll say make its background color red. So it definitely stands out now. Hopefully the user wouldn't click on this button by accident. Now we've added elements in HTML, we've styled those elements in CSS, but our buttons still don't actually do anything. If you click the buttons, you won't see anything happen. So that brings us to our third language. JavaScript is how we add interactivity to the elements. So we can use the same selectors in CSS, and we can create events in JavaScript to add interaction to the selected elements. So in JavaScript, I'm going to use the jQuery $. I get to say $, and I'm going to select the button. That's a selector for all the buttons on the screen, and I get to say .on. The event is click, and I'm going to run a function called delete button. I better select only the delete button for this. So I'm going to say button.delete. So this says when you click on the delete button, I'm going to run a function called delete button. Now this name is a name I made up. It could be anything you want. So that's a name of a function. Before that selector, before that line, I get to say function delete button, open close parent, open that function up, and now I get to say what's going to happen when they click delete. For now, I'm just going to say, I'm going to throw up a confirm box, and I'm just going to ask the user, are you sure? Are you sure that you want to delete whatever this is? So if I come over here and click my delete button, I should see a confirm box appear. There we go. And it says this is the text I entered. It says are you sure? And we just click OK. So this is how JavaScript can add interactivity to the elements we create. And that's the three languages of the web. There's a lot to learn about each one of these languages, but hopefully this has been kind of a preview, kind of a demonstration of how these three languages work together.